There once was a sweet little maid, much beloved by everybody, but most of all by her grandmother. Go, sweet little maid. Who could not do enough for her. She gave the girl a hooded cape of red velvet, and as it was very becoming, she never wore anything else. People called her Little Red Riding Hood. Her mother said to her,
"Come here, Little Red Riding Hood. Take this food and this jug of cider to your grandmother's house and hurry before it gets dark. And when you get there, don't stare around the room. Say hello and give her a hug. Off you go now." On my way.
Where are you going?
I'm going to deliver this food and drink to my grandma's house.
And where does your grandma live?
She lives over there in the forest.
In the forest.
And the wolf began to think to himself as Little Red Riding Hood ran off. Run off, Little Red Riding Hood. The wolf thought this tender young thing would be a delicious morsel and would taste better than the old one. I must manage somehow to get both of them. So he walked next to Little Red Riding Hood a little while and then said, "Oh, Little Red Riding Hood, look at the flowers." Little Red Riding Hood walked towards the rock pit where the flowers were after she spit, and the wolf thought, "I'll go ahead earlier to Grandma's house." The wolf found the door to Grandmother's house, and he thought to himself, "Aha, I have arrived before Little Red Riding Hood." And in went. Meanwhile, Little Red Riding Hood thought to herself, "If I took a fresh bouquet to my grandmother, she would be very pleased." So she ran about farther into the wood until she found a patch of lilies, and she picked the most beautiful bouquet of flowers for her grandmother. Meanwhile, the wolf was making his way into the house.
Who's there?
That's Little Red Riding Hood. I brought you some cakes and cider.
Come in.
Little Red Riding Hood approached the door until she realized the door was already open. Something didn't seem right. Something didn't smell right. "Grandma," she said. She approached carefully, not knowing what was going on, but before she could know it, she was to her grandmother. She went up to her grandmother and said, "Oh, Grandma, what large ears you have." And Grandma said,
Better to hear you, my dear.
"Oh, Grandma, what great big eyes you have."
See you, dear.
"Oh, Grandma, what large hands you have."
Better to hold you, my dear.
"Oh, Grandma, what large teeth you have."
Better to eat you.
Then the wolf, having satisfied his hunger, went to sleep and began to snore loudly. And a hunter passing by heard the snoring, and he thought, "How the old woman snores! I had better see if there is anything the matter with her." And then the hunter went into the bedroom briskly. Then the hunter came into the bedroom, walked over to the bed, saw the wolf lying there fast asleep, and said,
I found you, old beast. I've been looking for you for a long time.
and the hunter suddenly realized that the wolf had swallowed the grandmother whole, and that she might yet be saved. So he did not fire his gun, but he took a pair of shears in his hunting to slit open the wolf. He slit it open so much that out popped Little Red Riding Hood. Oh! And then he kept slitting some more while the wolf continued to sleep. And out came the grandmother.
Oh, it was very hot in there.
And quickly they went to fetch some large stones, and they put it back into the wolf's belly. At last, the wolf woke up and in terror ran as fast as he could away from the house, but the stones were so heavy that he crashed and collapsed to his doom. They were all three very pleased. Little Red Riding Hood and her grandmother thanked the hunter.
Well, thank you, lad, for saving our lives.
The grandmother and Little Red Riding Hood ate the cakes and drank the cider and began to feel much, much better. Meanwhile, the hunter headed out into the forest to go and catch his game. Here's the outtakes. We've got a weary traveler here, an eager musician over here, a skeptical cast member over here, and an angry wolf in the back, and a dog just ready for lunch.